Start stream button. And let this thing refresh. Supposedly, okay. Yada, yada, yada. All right. Here we go. Okay, it's Tuesday, March the 20th. This is GameEnthus Podcast, episode 338. One of the hosts here, Aaron. Tiny is here.
I am here, and I've survived the storm so far.
It really hasn't started yet, though, so.
I speak for yourself. Like, I don't know. We're covered in ice right now. Like, it started at like 11 today.
Oh.
So.
I mean, it's snow on the ground, on the grass, but it hasn't, like, I don't know. For us, it hasn't really started. It's on its way.
I mean, everything's covered here, so.
Everything's covered. Gotcha.
Everything's covered. I doubt I could get into my car right now.
Wow.
Without, like, an ice pick.
Yeah, it has started for you, then, hasn't it? Yeah.
It was, yeah. Started a lot earlier, too, when I had to drive in it. In a real-wheel drive car. That was a bad idea. Anyway.
You mention that every winter. Well, it's spring now, so it's like...
Generally, I don't drive anywhere, but I was supposed to go testify in a court case. So, like, I can't not do it. And weird, they don't let you do it remotely. Who knew? So...
Call the judge, ask for a favor. You know it's me.
No! 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes from the court, they call me and say they are closing the court. I'm like, God. Anyway.
Better safe than sorry. Anyway, hopefully Michael will be joining us soon. But we have a guest this week who has not been on in quite some time. We have Lauren. Welcome, Lauren.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's good to have you back on the show. It has been a while, so
Yes.
I know you've worked on like 80 different things. We want to hear about all of them. So please educate us and the listeners on what you've been up to as of late.
As you may or may not know, I do have a podcast now called The Nerds of Prey. We are in year 2.5. I think we're up to almost 40 shows under our belt, not including like our special one-off shows and just specials with special guests. I am writing full-time, screenwriting. I'm working on a feature. I'm working on 2 pilots at the moment. I've recently relocated to Los Angeles to really make a dent in this. So I have left the snowy shores of Toronto behind.
You
my
left
husband
Toronto?
will be here tomorrow. Yes.
No.
And we are excited to begin life on the left coast, the best coast. So just really excited, just keeping busy with a lot of writing. I've started a production company, just trying to get things off the ground. So yeah, been a little busy.
Yeah, just a tad. Wow. That is quite the move.
Yeah, like literally drove. A friend of mine flew to Toronto and we drove here in 4 days so I could have my car. And my husband is bringing some more stuff tomorrow. So it's great. It's worked out great.
I was going to ask, you said 4 days though. Who did most of the driving?
I did.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Well, yeah, like I grew up doing road trips, so it was kind of fun. You know, we had Apple Music just providing the soundtrack, and I just went until I couldn't go any further. And that was about day 3. Day 3, I was just like, I can't. It was when Waze tells you, turn right and keep straight for 850 miles. And I was like, Jesus, help me. Like, I don't know if I can do this today. Literally on the same stretch of road for over 800 miles. And I think halfway through, I was like crying. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need you to drive. So, yeah.
That's a long, man.
Yep.
Well, did you see anything scenic along the way? Or?
Oh, we saw plenty of scenic. Like, apparently I passed out and slept all the way through Texas. My friend drove through Texas and she was like, you missed it. And I was like, well, what did I miss? She's like, actually, there was nothing. I was just bored. I'm sorry.
Texas is like 12 hours, though. How do you...
Well, we didn't go through the mid part. We went through the top piece.
Yeah, that's not 12 hours.
Yeah, that was more like 2.5, 3.
Really?
And
wow.
the way we drove, because there was really the speed limit was fairly high. And yeah, when you get through New Mexico and it's like, oh, it's pretty, it's deserty and it's nice. But then when it gets dark, it's like, oh God, it's dark. And there's not a lot to look at. And that's when we stopped. That was day 3. Yeah, we covered a lot of ground day 3. So, but yeah, it was a great experience. You know, I would recommend somebody do at least one long road trip in their life. It's actually quite cool.
I do a lot of little ones. I think I'm good. I don't.
It's a one and done for me. Like my husband was like, "Are we gonna do it again?" I was like, "Oh no, we are not. We're gonna hire a U-Haul for the rest of the stuff. I'm not doing this again. No."
Yeah. Well, that's a different experience with your spouse. So you got to do it. You have a comparison. You know.
No.
You can catalog how much Sonic your friend eats versus how much Sonic your husband won't eat. You know, just whatever. You
No.
know? Okay, that was simple.
Nope. 9 yet. Nope.
All right, I see here on the outline you've been watching a lot of content.
I have. Some of it for background noise, some of it for research, and some of it just because. There's a cooking show on Netflix called Nailed It, and it's like the antithesis of Chopped, because all of these people are terrible cooks. And
is that like the worst cook in the world? Is it similar to that?
Like the worst baker in the world, because it's all like baking things, like sweet stuff.
Oh.
Like they're asked to replicate 3-tier cakes or to do a cookie with a design. And, you know, when they get the ingredients and the instructions, they make a cake with no flour. Things like that. So a couple of weeks ago, I realized I hadn't watched The Office, and I got tired of using all the GIFs on Twitter and not knowing where they came from. So I decided to watch
hold on. You use Office GIFs?
I didn't. I knew, you know, they were perfect for what I was trying to say, but I didn't know the episodes that they came from. So I decided to watch the entire run.
That's a fantastic show. I've been telling Mike and Tony to watch that show for years.
Highly recommended.
Love that
people
show.
Have written us on Nerds of Prey saying that because I started talking about it, then another host started watching it. They've gone back and started watching it too.
Like I think I'm
off of Netflix, right?
No.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah, the whole all
it's
night.
on Netflix. Okay.
I thought you said off. I'm like, whoa.
They took it off.
Oh no, it's still up there.
It has to be.
I keep lobbing back to it, like it's a drug. Keep calling me.
I've tried it. I think I've watched the entire series probably 3 or 4 times.
But it's so many seasons.
Yeah,
but when it's funny, it's okay.
No, I get it, but like Parks and Rec took me a long time, and I got it done before it was taken off of Netflix. But
Tyrone agrees with me.
If I started The Office now, it would be off of Netflix by the time I was done with it.
Nah, I feel like it's a staple. Okay, at least watch 30 Rock.
Oh,
That's something else I need to watch too. Yeah.
I've never watched that either.
Well, Lauren, you have homework.
I tackle all 9 seasons of The Office. Although I have to say, when I tell people about it, I always say you can skip season 1. You can skip season 8.
Season 1?
Yeah, skip season 1.
With Larry Wilmore? The diversity day?
Okay, you can watch that little clip on YouTube though. Like, really, that was the best part of it.
That was fantastic.
The cookie, when Kelly slaps him. Yeah, I mean, you can watch that on. They have best of reels on YouTube that NBC put together. So I say skip season 9, skip season 1. No, not 9. Skip season 8. Skip season 1. Start with season 2, and then when you finish, go back to 1 and 8.
Well, because 1 is so short, it's like what, 6 episodes maybe. You can kind of sneak it in, you know.
Eventually,
if you're not doing nothing.
I wouldn't start with it. I found that if people start with it, it's a slow.
Yeah, they were building. It's sort of like the first season of Parks and Rec. They didn't know what they wanted it to be.
Yes. Yeah.
Although it's a little bit different.
That too. I've started watching that. I forgot to put that in, but I have started watching that because someone said, "Well, if you like that, then you'll love this." And I'm like, "Do I though?"
Not apparent from the first few episodes of season 1 for sure. It is the low point of the series.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I wasn't grabbed. Like, I almost stopped. I almost stopped watching.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I almost stopped. Yep.
Was it? Do you think it was trying too hard to sort of emulate the dry British sensibility of the original show?
I think so, and I think that's why season 1 of The Office didn't grab me as much either, because it was almost like the pilot was almost a shot-for-shot remake of the British pilot. It even had some of the same dialogue.
I like the British show. It was it's only like 3 seasons. They know how to cancel the show after, you know. It's like, all right, we've done enough of this.
Yeah,
they're good about it.
Like, I'm on season 2 of Parks and Rec now, and I'm like, okay, you're getting better. Like, there are moments where I actually go, okay, that was funny. I didn't do that a lot in season 1.
No, for good reason. There wasn't a whole lot of that in season 1.
It was tough, the first season of Parks and Rec, but it was worth it. Although I did not finish it in the first run, I came back, a couple of years later and finished it.
So it's not just me. Okay.
No.
So...
And you mentioned season 8 of The Office too, because I remember the last 2 or 3 seasons were not the high point of the show at all. I appreciate them more now, but when I saw the episodes for the first time, I was like, yo, like...
Yeah, like once Michael left, once
like get Mindy back.
Stephen Carell left. It was I always call season 8 the struggle season, and I think every show has one. Like, well, Dexter had several, but season 8 was definitely a struggle season, I think, for The Office, because they were trying to figure out who was going to be, head funny guy, and it wasn't Steve Carell, and I think they wanted Ed Helms to do it, I guess, because of the popularity of Hangover.
Which I never liked, by the way. But
yeah, so, and that didn't really work out, so yeah. Let's see, what else I've been watching. Oh, I finally, all the Oscar hype, I was watching Shape of Water, which good. I loved. Big Little Lies, because it won so many awards, and Good Times was background noise. And I don't know why I went back to that, but yeah, Good Times is always good for just background noise. And I've been reading this awesome book about mercenaries and private armies. One, I love the subject matter, and two, it's actually kind of for research for a script I'm working on. It's called The Modern Mercenary, Private Armies and What They Mean for the World Order. And it just talks about what happens when you start politicking with private armies and paying for governing through militaries and mercs. And the fallout from it, and it's just really, really interesting.
Would you mind if we went back to The Shape of Water just for a moment?
Sure.
Let me ask this, Mike Tiny, have you seen The Shape of Water? Just,
No.
I have not, but I know the graphic novel that it's based on.
Oh, so I'm not familiar with the graphic novel at all. Okay. Maybe that would have helped. Did you feel like there was just a lot of backstory that you just never got?
With the woman character, or about...
Well,
the Fishman.
Yeah, both actually.
I didn't really care. Not really. Like, I didn't feel like it was needed.
Okay.
If anything, it just made me want Del Toro to direct a BioShock adaptation, since he loves doing monsters so well. Yeah. Monsters and in the just like the color palette just reminded me so much of BioShock, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch this and pretend it's going somewhere else. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a great film. I think he totally deserved an Oscar, but it was a typical Del Toro film. Well, I won't say typical because it wasn't like Pacific Rim, but no, and I think to me that's my favorite film that he's done. I know people love Pan's Labyrinth. I know people love Crimson Peak. People love this one.
Pacific Rim?
Pacific Rim's great. Don't
it was cool, but
listen, I've never met a monster flick or big like robot flick I didn't like, and that combined the two. Like, I was giddy in the theater, literally giddy. Husband put his hand over my mouth, like, "Would you be quiet?"
Yeah, I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna be very, very controversial. But looking at the trailers for the sequel, I feel like the sequel is just, it knows that it's dumb. I feel like I'm going to enjoy the sequel more than the original. Just because it's accepted that it's just stupid. It doesn't have to have a sub.
You're suggesting that the first movie took itself too seriously?
And like a little bit, like with that whole side story about the one woman couldn't, she couldn't. What'd you call the thing where they mesh together or whatever? What do you call it?
Drift compatible.
Yeah, like she had all this post traumatic stress. It was like, just
Dude,
get to the.
Her family was destroyed by a Jaeger or by a kaiju.
She was chased by a giant crab thing. Like
I wasn't feeling all that.
Have a dark day? Come on.
I'd have a lot of them.
That wasn't more for her, more so it was for Idris's character, Pentecost.
Yeah, then Idris Elba dropped in and like killed it by himself.
Yeah.
So he got super cancer. So they never explain any it's so whatever. In the comics, they try to explain like, hey, we didn't put any reactor shielding around. Like what?
But it's like
radiation. What's that?
Of like old school Godzilla flicks, where we don't get a lot of backstory about Godzilla.
I like Godzilla more than Pacific Rim.
Wait, whoa, the new Godzilla?
Yeah, that's actually a solid flick. Hold on.
I liked it more than Pacific Rim, easily.
Well, no, I think there are several problems with the new Godzilla. Like, hey, no one noticed this giant hole in this mountain until we opened the slot in the room or in the door, so the light came through. They came in on helicopters, like literally giant hole. Anyway.
Okay, if you're gonna be logical, all of this stuff falls apart. Like,
the bugs, there's like that movie was advertised on Bryan Cranston being there, and he is dead within like 30 minutes of that movie starting.
I don't know. It took a few viewings, but I've come to appreciate it. And I love how Godzilla is just like this cranky old man who really just wants to be left alone. But the humans keep bugging him to fight these two things. And he's like, I just want to rest. Like, let me be an old man and go into the ocean and sleep. But no, we need his help. We need his help. And he's like, God damn it, leave me alone.
Pretty much.
And then he walks into the sea at the end like, and don't call me no more, lose my number. And then the credits come up. That's it.
Right, but Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch have a kid in this one, which is kind of creepy.
Yes.
So, just throwing that out there, like what, a year after Avengers or whatever. Anyways,
it was a bit weird. Yeah, I think I think Godzilla came first, and then they were brother and sister. Yeah, they played husband and wife, and then brother and sister.
Okay.
Which was a bit weird. Yeah.
Well, that means they would have been in the after credit scene in Cap then, before that.
They were, and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
So, yeah. Anyway, Pacific Rim 2 comes out in like 48 hours, so...
Woohoo!
I'm going to go see that. Movie pass for the win.
So.
Yeah, cooperate, Snow.
Like, the Snow needs to not ruin my...
Does Del Toro have... What does he have to do with the sequel, if anything?
I think
nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I thought so. Yeah, okay.
Stephen DeKnight took over, and he was the showrunner for the first season of Daredevil. So there's some hope, a glimmer, a glimpse, a smidge.
Daredevil was good.
The first season, yeah.
You like the second season? Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
I can see it. Well, I mean, you never know how it translates from one project to the next.
Yeah, that's true.
The second season was Evil Electra. Was that second season?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Well, it's better. Well,
still better than Iron Fist.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. We keep using that, but anything is better than Iron Fist. Like watching someone else watch paint dry is better than Iron Fist.
I watched exactly 10 minutes of it.
That's all you needed, huh?
It's so bad.
I asked for the exact coordinates of Louis Tan's arrival and departure. And that was it.
Oh, it's so bad.
It was bad.
And then the Defenders was just like Iron Fist 1.5.
Yep.
So I still haven't. Tyrone's asking about Jessica Jones too. I'm like 3 episodes in. Right?
Tyrone, I watched the whole thing. Lauren, did you watch Jessica Jones season 2?
No, sir.
Okay, season 1?
I did. Yep.
Okay, did you enjoy season 1?
It was all right.
Okay. Well, if you think season 1 is aight, season 2 is, I mean, it's better than Iron Fist.
I like that this is the bar that we're using.
I mean,
is it better than the second half of Luke Cage?
Yeah, second half of Luke Cage, it got a little dicey. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like Luke Cage, there is a clear mark where it's like, no, this is really good, and then it's like, oh, it's that guy's supposed to look like Copperhead or whatever.
When Mahershala leaves, it kind of falls apart.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Jessica Jones is okay. It's like I found it difficult to really care. I put it this way: 3 words, really. Too much Trish, and that's all I can really say about season 2. It's just too much Trish. Every time she's on screen, she's getting on my nerves. So,
does she ever have another persona?
No, but
disappointed.
I don't want to spoil it, but they definitely there's definitely a wink and a nod to Hellcat, since so yeah.
They're still winking and nodding in season 2. They haven't outright pointed and said, "Here she is."
Well, it's more than a wink and nod. It is more like a, hey, you'll probably be seeing something along these lines. Hey, it's better than Iron Fist. In the last episode of the season, he was asking questions. Who am I? I'm Iron Fist? Oh, you know what?
I wonder how they'll do Hellcat, since like she literally has to go to hell at one point to get her power.
Yeah, and Tyrone said way too much Trish, so I guess season 3 is gonna kill all of us because they might call it Trish and Jones. So I don't know. I'm being silly, but I don't know.
The Runaways was real good. I enjoyed that. I
should probably watch that. These seasons are too long. You don't need 13 episodes. Like a tight 8, 10 tops. Because then you have characters who are like imagine somebody's almost about to resolve an issue, and then like they put the fire out in the apartment. Okay, yeah. Well, 99% of it. And then they like start a grease fire. Like, why? Why are you starting a grease fire if it was almost out? Like, what are you doing? Like, who does this?
These are the questions.
These are the questions. So, Lauren, you have to watch Jessica Jones now, just because.
Okay.
No, you don't. Actually, you don't. You good. You don't gotta watch that.
Let me get right on that, because I have like a literal list of shows, so I will add it to the bottom.
It's not horrible. Like, it's watchable. It was a struggle to make it through it. It's watchable.
It'll be real important in Infinity War.
It does make me wonder, like...
I heard that very low.
I did not watch the last trailer because I'm trying to see if I can hold out without watching it. And so far, I have not watched the last trailer. So I know people are talking about all types of stuff. I have no idea what happens in it. I'm trying to keep it that way.
Okay. I don't
Pray my strength.
I don't know which one is the last trailer, so I'm sure I could go figure it out, but I don't know off the top of my head. So, hey, Thanos has to go get the stones at some point. That's bad news for Vision. So.
Well, that was in the other trailer, though. So, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lauren. We got all. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's okay. That pretty much covers what's keeping me busy. I mean, like, relocating across the country takes up a lot of my time. So I haven't had a lot of chance for a lot of fun stuff. It's either me being in class, me writing, or me being in class, or me writing and catching a random show here and there.
Cool. Well, feel free to interrupt Tiny while he's talking. Tiny.
So I spent 10 days in Miami? Or no, Orlando?
Yeah. Seemed like a long visit.
It did seem like a long visit, right? Like it seemed.
You didn't
like
take any of my phone calls, but it's okay.
I don't remember you calling me. So, but anyway, so I was down there for Extra Life United. We ran a tournament, gave away $150,000 to people with children's hospitals. We raised another $40,000 on the Twitch stream.
Wow.
Nothing caught on fire. Actually, everything went surprisingly smoothly. That I was waiting for something to break. So, it went well.
All good news.
And they weren't like they didn't wait till you got there to like make sure everything was okay. Because I remember.
We were on top of. I had. So by the time I landed, I had built 8 USBs with all the games, both the original base tournament games and then the mystery games that were going to come up during the top 16. I had all that ready. We'd done all this. The only issue that we ran into was with Sonic Mania, who apparently has a second server check that we didn't know about. So when you launch it when you launch it a couple times on the same account, it just locks up Sonic Mania and doesn't let you use it for 24 hours. So we
kind of a problem.
I mean, we went and got 10 more copies and it was fun. So,
but, how easy was it to do that? You just say, this can be 10.
I mean, considering how much we had saved on everything else, spending that $200 was a real easy. I didn't get any fight when I said, "Yo, we need to do this." So, and like that was the biggest issue we had. I mean, we had a computer die at one point, but they were all loners from Alienware anyway. So yeah. So we
Arby's worry about it.
Well, they're all going to PAX East, so we'll see them in 2 weeks. We'll see those machines. So, but they were very nice. They had 1080s in them and i7s. And, Astro sent over headsets, so we had people were able to hear stuff. And no controllers got stolen, as far as I am aware. So, yeah. The other thing, Extra Life announced the final total for 2017. Money raised, because it takes a while to count when you're using all 10 fingers, and it was $11,124 or $124,217. So over $11 million raised last year for children's hospitals across Canada and the United States. Wow. So
things still trending upward.
This is the first year they broke 10 million, and obviously kind of broke in a big way.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So yeah, so doing pretty well. I think there was like 55,000 participants or whatever. Aaron, I at one point I sat down. I was talking to a friend, a hospital coordinator out in Hawaii.
Okay.
And she was sitting with your hospital coordinator, I believe. And I got introduced and whatnot.
Cindy?
I think it was Cindy.
Yeah.
That might have been her. Got introduced and whatnot, and Colette gave me a nice, this is Dave from Philadelphia. She's like, wait. She's like, do you know anyone from Baltimore? I'm like, yeah, I know Ben and Aaron and everyone. She's like, wait, are you the guy from Philadelphia they're always talking about? I'm like, that depends on what they're saying.
They don't think you exist. That's why, like, I've hyped you up so far where they were like, he can't really exist, this guy?
So that got mentioned. I was like, talk about me a lot. Gotcha. So, no, we do things. So we'll be at Franklin Institute in like a week. So I'm looking forward to that in Philadelphia. But anyway, so I was at Disney up until a week from Monday, this past Monday. And the one thing that I will always regret is this charity really loves daylight savings time. So the tournament also ended on whatever we fall or spring forward, so we lose an hour.
For charity.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
We not only do so
losing money for the kids.
we finished breakdown and everything around like 8:30 or whatever, and I'm like, either I go back to my room now and go to sleep, or I don't go to sleep until I get on the plane. Which is Disney wants me to get to the airport 3 hours before my plane, so I have to be on the bus at 6 a.m. But then, like, I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, I'm gonna lose an hour. If I go to sleep now, there's almost certain I'm gonna sleep through my alarm. So I think I stayed up 30 hours from Saturday morning to Sunday midday, and like tried to grab some sleep on the plane, but like it was like a 2-hour flight, so it wasn't anything to grab. But yeah, it is much harder to do that now than it was back in the day.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, doing this whole staying up for 30 hours is not a thing. Aside from that, so that was all Extra Life United. Like I said, we raised $40,000 via people donating over Twitch, and then there was bits and subscriptions and stuff that also go to that, so it'll be more than that. And we gave away $150,000. 12,000 of it, my guys won for Philadelphia, so I was really proud of all 5 of my people. I got a new phone, so I'm not rocking an iPhone 5 anymore, which looked apparently ridiculous.
I don't know if you can use the word rocking an iPhone 5 in the same.
It was better than my Android that kept rebooting. So.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Like, so I have an
I'm rocking
iPhone
that
7.
flip phone. Like, nah, dude. There's no rocking going on here.
Hey, it worked. It did everything I wanted it to.
Rocking
Because
that
I never asked
jitterbug.
I never asked it to try to do more. Is really what I'm saying. So, but no, I have an iPhone 7 Plus now. This thing is huge. So, and it plays Fortnite, which I should have put on my list. So, it's a nice upgrade. And then the last thing, because I took a week off from games after the tournament and whatnot, because I was a little tired. I read through 3 books of the 3-book series of the Reckoners, which is hey, what happens if people got superpowers, but they all turned out to be evil? And this resistance forms and tries to take out the epics, they call them. And then how are they going to overcome these people that have these amazing powers? Because they also have weird weaknesses, oh, this guy can only be hurt by someone who doesn't fear him, which seems like a real nebulous concept. So, but yeah, I don't know. I should check it out. I read through the 3 books in the series. They were a lot of fun. They're all it's all young adult. It was easy reads. I think a day for each of them. But yeah, Mike, what about you, sir?
So, just as a random thing, one of the things that I had done recently, specifically 3 days ago, considering how early in the week this is, on St. Patrick's Day, in fact, went bowling for the first time in I don't know, quite a few years. And hey, bowling alleys, they still exist, and people still go and pay money, and
It's not bad. The food's kind of pricey though normally.
Well, we didn't worry about food. We just showed up and bowled, and then got food elsewhere and went home.
You brought your own food, gotcha.
They frown upon that. But it was fine. Actually, the the bowling alley up that we had never been to, living here for over 12 years now. Just never been to. It was very reasonably priced. It was $4 a game. It was fun. But modern day bowling systems are way more advanced than I would have ever guessed. You don't have to do anything. Not only do you not have to do your own scoring, you don't even have to enter your own names. It was it's all good. Here's video screens of everything. It's all right, this is cool. I might be convinced to do this again before another decade goes by or whatever. But I will say the first 7 balls that I threw went right into the gutter. It was not a manly feeling. It got a little bit better after that, though. But,
Okay.
But yeah, I'm terrible at it. I don't care. I mean, it's fine.
Let's see, what's your average score?
I think I cracked 100 once.
Okay.
That's pretty good. I'm terrible myself, so.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
might have possibly have been on a league at one point in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
See, my
Showing
biggest
off.
fear.
You got your own shoes.
No,
My
but
biggest fear-
my brother does, and he's got 2 balls, 2 custom made balls.
Oh, nice. Has one of them got a rose right in the middle of it?
No.
It's a very specific question.
Well, because the whole time we were there, I kept thinking, I want to go home and watch Kingpin right now.
I was gonna say it's either Kingpin or just have a skull in the middle of it and just Grosso talk to it.
Or obviously the Big Lebowski. I mean, that's. Come on.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I was just I mean, they bowled, but that's not why I watched that movie. So
I watched it for the bowling. Were you crazy?
Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Oh, also, after it was over, the next day, my hips hurt like you wouldn't believe, and I was like, you know what? I'm old and out of shape. I should do something about that. And then I didn't. But it's only been a few days, so.
But you thought about it, and that's what matters.
I'm still feeling it. Literally, my hips still feel the pain of, what I don't normally do.
Yeah, I'll have a story about that soon.
You're gonna have fun shoveling tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Because I didn't do any today. I just looked out the window and it said, "Yup,
You know what it does when you don't shovel it? It accumulates. Accumulates.
I saw a house once that had a hot water hose spigot on the outside. And ever since then, I've thought this would be a phenomenal thing to have in the winter. Just hook up the hose, turn it on, and just spray everything.
But what happens when the water
freezes the pipe?
Down and just
it's not that cold. It was only like 32 degrees. I'm really not that worried about it.
I just see you making a sheet of ice ultimately.
Now, if it was like 20 degrees out, I get it. Absolutely, that's the worst idea of all time. But when the only reason it's accumulating is because it's coming down so heavy you can't see in front of you, we can deal with this other than picking up heavy shovels of snow. I just don't have the means of doing it myself.
That's you talk about hips hurting, man. You out there shoveling, hips, back, everything.
It's really mostly the back and the knees,
neck,
so,
all that good stuff.
And the neck, maybe a little.
Get one of those Elon Musk flamethrowers. Like that seems like a better way.
Yeah, I think somebody tried that a couple of years ago. It did not work out the way.
They escorted him off to jail that evening. Possibly because he burned some of his neighbors' belongings, but
maybe even his neighbors.
Maybe even himself and his. Anyway, so we got home, and a friend of my wife's had lent us a DVD copy of Taken 1, 2, and 3, and I've never seen any of them.
Nor have I.
So we decided to watch Taken 1, and everybody knows the line from the trailer about who
I have a
Liam
particular
Neeson is.
set of skills, and I will find you, and I will hunt you down, and I will kill you.
Exactly right.
I'm glad somebody remembers. I didn't remember.
And then
walk away right now.
Are my jam.
and not to say it was a bad movie, but without that, it would have been one of the most forgettable movies ever created.
Totally.
So I don't know. So we've got Taken 2 and 3 waiting, and I'm vaguely aware.
Do you really though?
It's like
I'll watch
like
them.
when you take a piece of something and you make a copy of a copy, and then you make a copy of that copy. That's kind of what you're getting into at this point.
Sure.
It's called Multiplicity with Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Which was also a movie with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Taken 2 has some real great scenes.
Okay.
With random grenade usage that really makes you wonder.
Random grenade usage.
At one point, they use the grenade. Liam Neeson is using the grenades for like echolocation.
That's not how that works. I don't.
Oh no!
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It makes no sense, and also like you kind of wonder why things, but also just the complete disregard for the city they're randomly throwing these around. Like, whatever.
Yeah, where are you? I'll set the building next to me on fire. That way you'll know. Like, no, that's
that
not...
car just exploded. That's weird.
Soup's done.
Nobody cares. Also, I explained in the first movie how I don't have any money, so I'm not paying for that one.
So there's anyway, there's and then the third one. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I think I've seen all three of them if I remember correctly. Because it's like the second one has Famke Janssen more in it. So you're like, hey, it's Jean Grey, or Talia from Goldeneye. So.
No, she was Xenia Onatopp. She's the woman who would squeeze you with her thighs or whatever.
Right, with her powerful thighs.
That was so dumb.
I never connected. No, I had no idea that
they are the same.
All of these is the same person.
So I mean, it's also like, or she's the lady in the jungle level of GoldenEye N64 that's just shooting at you randomly. So.
Well, same character, but yes.
Yeah.
She's also a Private Benjamin in Private Benjamin.
That's going back a ways.
That's also patently false, but yes.
I think she was in Nip Tuck.
I never watched that.
I don't know why we're going down Famke Janssen's discography or whatever. Filmography. So, but yeah.
So that was more or less the end of that night.
Okay.
So Aaron, what have you been doing?
I went to go see A Wrinkle in Time opening weekend. I ran up to pick up my oldest from school for a spring break, bring her back home, and then we just all met at the movie theater and went to go see Wrinkle in Time, which was an interesting movie. I recall attempting to read the book in my youth and not really understanding anything that was in it, and having seen the film, I now have a better understanding of why I didn't understand anything, because the pacing, it's really a children's movie. Like, I love the fact that Ava did this movie. I think it's awesome. But it just, I don't know. Like, I liked it, but I don't really. I think I like the fact that it exists more than like the actual movie. If that does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
yep.
It just
makes sense.
Yeah, did you see it?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I did go to a Q&A that featured Ava and a lot of the department heads
nice.
for the film. And she said, I specifically made this film for 8 to 12, 8 to 13-year-old girls.
Yep.
Anyone else who sees it, it's a bonus, but I made it for them.
Yep. Right, she is. The fact that, it's a little girl of color who was the star of the movie, like, that the kids dug it. It's, like I said, I like that it was made. I like that this is the first movie that African American woman has ever directed. Had over $100 million budget. All that's awesome. But it was not really for, the pace. It just like characters just walk on screen like, hey, I happen to be here. Like, you know what? Okay, fine. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I remembered something about the book, but I mean, like you said, I remember that it was a book that I read when I was in like middle school or something, and
I was in third grade. I didn't understand what was going on. I
remembered absolutely nothing.
I'm trying to say, was it better than Iron Fist? Oh yeah, it was better than Iron Fist easily. It was better than Iron Fist. Like visually, it's a beautiful film. Like but yeah, it is definitely for the kids. So, yeah, I already talked about Jessica Jones. It's okay. It's not not as good as the first season. Definitely watchable, and not Iron Fist. So yeah, I just wanted to share this one little anecdote. So we went to drop the oldest back off at school Sunday, and the 8-year-old. So we're in her dorm, and the 8-year-old has to go to the bathroom. So my wife says to the 11-year-old, take her to the bathroom. Okay. Right down the hall. And I recall this was an issue like before, where in her mind, there's a particular bin or container in the dorm, in the bathroom, that in her mind contains. She cannot wrap her head around why, but it's full of balloons. In her mind, so
oh boy.
So the last time we were there, like she came back to the room like, why are there balloons in there? My wife's like, oh, let me take those, let me get those out, I'll take them, whatever. And we just kept finding them. Like we got back home. My wife's like, I had to go through every pocket she had, like for like 2 days, because we just kept seeing them. So she went to the bathroom this time. And then when we got back home, my wife was like, it happened again. She unzipped the pocket, and there were like 2 or 3 in there. I'm just like, is she like collecting these like on the low? Like what is going on? And we haven't explained what it is. We're just like, nah, that's not quite what you do. Okay, just look over there. And then we just like, so we just got to distract her and then remove them. But it's just, I feel like she always is gonna ask to go, just so she can gather more. So yeah. It's kids, it is weird having an 8-year-old and then dropping one of them off at school. So yeah, but whatever, it is what it is. So yeah, just stay safe out there. So yeah. All right. Did you see the voicemail from Keon?
I assume you're actually asking me that.
You or Mike? Either one of you.
I do see it. I'm aware of Tiny's ability to play it more cleanly than mine, but I can do it if you need me to.
You've been somebody's been volunteered or voluntold. I don't know, one or the other.
I can play it. One sec. Let me just.
I mean, if it still works in the fashion that I have been told it does, because I don't understand it.
Okay, So I'm gonna have to share screen and sound and screen. So, started up.
I'm not sharing anything, but
that's fine. I don't think there's anything particularly scandalous on this screen anyway.
Oh my gosh.
You're looking at the Extra Life Discord. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Let me make sure. Can you hear this?
Hey.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren, did you hear that?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is the voicemail from Keon.
Hey, what's going on, GameEnthus crew? I hope you guys are doing great, man. This is Keon calling again. I guess good grief, talk your ears off. I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible, though. I just ran across some very, very interesting news concerning Microsoft. Now, we know everybody's been down on Microsoft. I said it in the last message. But their E3 plans have come out, and very interestingly enough, they are not going to be at the LA Convention Center. They're actually moving the E3 across the way to the Microsoft Theater. And the reason behind this is, quote unquote, they're trying to make this the biggest E3 show ever. So this is kind of like a two-part question. My first question to you guys is, do you think Microsoft can pull this off? Do you think that Microsoft is going to have a big show? I mean, we don't know a whole lot of what's coming down the pipe, but I'm really hoping for the best for them. The second question I wanted to ask you guys is, do you think this is possibly another small nail in the coffin of E3? Because we have EA, they've been off-site. Now Microsoft is going off-site. And, I mean, just to put some context behind it, they did say they will officially be on the E3 floor, but they said it's going to be like a mixer booth or something like that, which is nothing, in the convention center if you're just going to have a booth. So I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on those two questions. As always, sorry for the long message, and thank you guys for the hard work that you do week in and week out. You guys take care. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you once again, Keon, for leaving the voicemail. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Lauren, do you have any thoughts on Keon's questions?
Whether it's a possible nail in the coffin, not really, or I don't know. It just, things evolve, things change, and these presentations are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and what sense does it make to cram everybody into one spot when you can branch out on your own and cover more? Maybe the E3 model as we know it is evolving. Maybe that's the fourth E.
E4.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a natural evolution of things.
Yeah.
I mean, what they're doing off-site only still works if E3's happening.
Yep.
Like,
nobody's coming just for that.
This doesn't. Yeah. This isn't like. I think like when Konami did it a couple of years ago, where it's like, yo, we're gonna put a shack on our space, but like not actually show anything. Like that was a bigger thing than like this is just.
Was that the year that they did the transferring thing? Was that year?
No, this was the year that I believe that there was just one like little, like, there was a Konami logo and then like a little booth, like a private booth, and I think they didn't allow you to like take video of the space. Like it was super. It was Konami being Konami, but yeah. So like this all like they're just trying to reach out to their consumers more, because this is all going to be at the Hollywood something or other. I forget what, like where LA Direct. That's where it's going to be at. Not the convention center. Like, okay, cool.
But to have a mixer booth, like that's the streaming service, right?
That it is.
Yeah. I feel
it's almost
to see
like maybe a lot of influencers come to E3 now, and you would like them to transition off of that other platform to your platform.
Yeah.
Aaron, you got real quiet.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I would assume. Like, the problem is when you see someone like the Ninja guy on MSNBC, like, oh hey, I make $500,000 a month on Twitch. Like,
how much are they making? If he made $500,000 in a month, that just blows my mind. Like, what?
Well, I didn't like look into how that money. Like, I'm assuming that's not just obviously ad revenue or whatnot. I assume that's also like what he had. He broke the highest number of subscribers. So like he's getting a subscription base costs $5. He gets 3 of those dollars. Twitch gets 2 of them or whatever.
Wow.
And then I'm sure he gets brand deals or whatever. So.
Yeah, and he probably does like Patreon or something too, right? Is that, or maybe not? I don't know.
I don't know.
Still, that's like a lot of money though.
At that point, it seemed real tough to justify Patreon, but like, yo, why not?
Good point. Could y'all give me some more money? I'm just saying.
Like, your subscription and all this stuff isn't enough. Like, I don't know. I know almost nothing about it. A lot of people were telling me how big a deal this was at ELU, and I was like, yeah, okay.
I never heard of Ninja until that came about. So.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, he definitely gets brand deals. So if you I'm on his Twitch right now. He's a DX Racers official sponsor. He has a real estate agent on here, advertising on here.
Like a local one?
Chuck Belvin's real estate. I'm gonna click on it. I don't know where.
Can you get like a Ninja approved house?
You're lucky.
Mortgage discounts or something like. Do you get a free system when you close?
It's like you actually pay a 1% higher interest for the right to have a 30-year mortgage that's branded with Ninja on it.
The Ninja, yeah. I mean, this guy's in Arizona. I don't like. It looks like he has a relatively large area, but it's Arizona, so maybe like there's like 4 real estate agents there.
There's 4 pieces of property you can buy.
Yeah. So anyway, like, yeah, wherever we were going. So yeah, maybe they're trying to get influencers to come over to Mixer. Like, there is some cool tech behind Mixer that can lower latency and a bunch of it.
Yeah, Mixer basically just did the thing where you can share the controller remotely. Isn't that something they just added? Which sort of seems like the stuff that PS4 has kind of had for a while, but I could be wrong. I don't know. So I don't know. I've never used it before, so.
But yeah. So anyway, if they're gonna push that, and then at this one talk about Crackdown's coming out and other stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about that whole biggest thing. Like, what's the biggest one? Now, rumor has that they're being funny with words and the definition of biggest, because they're gonna have more space at their own building than they would have the biggest. That has nothing to do with the amount of content they're going to show, though. Or introduce.
They are technically the biggest, not literally the biggest. So I don't know. We'll see. Like, I don't know. I look for Sea of Thieves seems to be very popular so far. So,
I sure hope that they have something more in the booth than Sea of Thieves at E3.
If I guessed, they'll have content to announce for Sea of Thieves.
They'll have copies of Rare Replay that you can purchase.
But they need more than that going forward. They need to announce something unknown.
I'm sure they'll have Crackdown. They'll have a Halo, because this is the year Halo 6 would get announced.
Probably.
If they're on a 3-year cycle. Something for Forza, something for it's the unknowns we don't know. So we'll see. So, but I think there are some definites that you're like, okay, yeah, they'll do that. Maybe they'll announce VR. Seems a little late, but Sony's doing relatively well with VR. So,
yeah, that'd be kind of strange. But yeah, I guess anything's possible.
All right, now that you have the X out and it's got a decent install base, especially if you said VR was like an X only thing.
If you want to guarantee extremely low software sales, that's how you do it.
Well, that's always the goal, isn't it? I mean,
Well, I mean, it seems to be working in that vein for pretty much all VR. So yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Anyway. Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully they have. Hey, I want to see more games. I like games. So
I also like games.
I'm up for more. I thought some of the Nindy stuff that got announced today seemed pretty cool.
You want to run through that stuff real fast since you brought it up?
Oh yeah, why not? Lumines is coming to the Switch. I'm done. I didn't need to actually know any of the other stuff. So,
Yeah, let's talk about Lumines. Like, I don't know, Lauren, have you played Lumines before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's a puzzle game. I don't know. For me, it's
best PSP launch.
It looks better than it. I like the way it looks, but it doesn't. The gameplay isn't that engaging to me.
I could sit there.
Because aren't you only dropping the 2x2 blocks?
Well, but the 2x2 blocks have different color patterns on them, and that's what's determining how you're making your patterns. And then you have to be concerned with where the beat line is, because it's all based on the music playing. Again, like I said, this is the best.
So what
PSP
you're saying is the
title.
music is the weapon. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that?
Yes. The second time this week, someone's referenced Revolution X. So maybe Microsoft will announce a reboot of the Revolution X series.
I hope they do not do that, as that is no.
So
no for all the reasons.
Aside from that, Mark of the Ninja Remastered, which is a game I already own on like 3 platforms. So,
but it's not backward compatible though, is it?
Nope. Well, because it's remastered, so I don't know.
No, I mean, but I'm saying the original one is not.
Yet.
I wish it
It
was.
can't be.
It'd be nice.
I feel like this announcement says it's not going to be, but okay. Maybe.
Probably. Hey, look at BioShock.
You never know. I mean, there's plenty of 360 games that are backwards compatible that also have an Xbox One version.
Burnout.
Yeah. Burnout would be the one.
BioShock Trilogy. Well, the first two.
Fantasy Strike, which I think they showed last year. That was that 4-player brawler where like.
That looked pretty good.
Garage, which looks like it has something to do with zombies. I haven't watched that yet. Pool Panic, Bomb Chicken, Lumines, Reign of King and Queens, Lightfall, West of Loathing, Pode, and The Messenger. Oh, and Bad North. Oh yeah, and all 3 Banner Sagas, which is pretty cool.
I never played those.
Kickstarted.
Yeah, it's not something you would do.
But yeah, so I don't know. Nindy seemed like that seems like, hey, Nintendo wants you to, and these are all coming out this year, if I remember correctly. I think that's what the announcement also said. So.
So some of these may be on the PAX East show floor.
Yeah, almost definitely. Actually, I believe we got a couple of emails about them. So. So yeah, so that'll be a cool additional games for the Switch, because I don't know, I don't feel like I'm playing mine as much right now.
I don't even see how that's possible. I don't, like, what?
I didn't take it at all out during the trip, but I watched Coco on the way down, which was really good. I should have talked about Coco.
That is a good movie.
Got me a little misty-eyed at the end. And then I was just exhausted on the way home, so I was like, yeah, I'm not playing any Switch. So I don't. Part of it's I don't have access to Mario right now because I let someone borrow it. So.
Oh, well, that was a mistake.
So, but
not for them, for you.
Thanks for clarifying, Mike. I wasn't sure who the mistake would be. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm tempted by South Park again, but like, we'll see how much that costs.
But you finished it, right?
Yep.
So what's the incentive?
I can play it portably, I guess. We'll see. If I can get it cheap, I'll pick it up. Or
so if they had announced it from the beginning, I probably would have bought that version of it instead. But I'm already committed. I already own it. Forget it. I'm not buying it again.
Yeah, I'm not going to go buy day one. Same with Bayonetta. Like, I'm waiting for Bayonetta to get cheaper.
Oh, I'm playing Bayonetta like crazy.
Yeah, but I played through both of those games on Wii U.
Oh, yeah. See, I have the 360 version and never beat either one. So I do have the Wii U version.
You borrowed my Wii U version for like a year.
Oh.
Did I?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Well, I sensibly gave it back and then bought my own copy I don't play. So there you
So
go.
it was a coaster,
And then bought it
as a
again.
hat.
Wait, so when you bought it, did you get both? I thought for some reason there was an
No,
issue.
I got the single one, like a
Yeah, you got
moron.
the single one, and
Yeah.
Tyrone, yeah, I saw the new Casa Bonita DLC today, and I'm like, I kind of want to play that in South Park. So
I have no idea what that means.
I didn't know it I haven't watched the show in
God,
like,
how many years ago was that episode? It was somebody was having a birthday party and Cartman wasn't invited.
Yeah, it was. It
Holy
could have been it could have been 10 years ago.
That's a deep cut, Lauren. That's a deep cut.
I'm gonna assume it was one of the goth kids because they're all vampires.
That's probably the last time I watched it.
So,
Wow.
I haven't watched the show in easily since the movie came out, but
yes. Oh my
like-
God, it's been on that long. Like it's been on.
I love the
Oh my
movie,
God.
and that's where I pretty much ended.
yeah, the movie's great. But like I haven't watched since then. But like I don't know, the games have both been fun. So
That show was on my senior year of high school.
I think 97.
Yeah, my
Yep,
junior
and
or
I
senior
just had
year.
my 20-year reunion. That show has been on that damn long.
That's a long time.
I remember the Jesus for Santa Claus shirt getting passed around my freshman year of high school. Like, people
Oh
said,
yeah,
you should watch this. Like, okay.
Getting passed around on a jazz drive.
Oh, I mean, you had to watch it in Real Media Player.
Oh gosh.
I've referenced Real Media Player this week.
Wow.
And just think about Real Media. Like, it ran in a postage stamp size like window, and like only supported up to like 10 frames a second. Like, it was amazing.
Now, is that the same exact video that was included on the Tiger Woods disc for PS1?
Yes, that is the same video that would have. No, I mean obviously not this format. They probably would have gotten a better version, but.
Well, it wasn't official. Like, it was actually, once discovered, ripped right out and said, "Oh no, more of this."
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying.
You put it in your PC and you could actually, get that video right off of the disc.
Yeah, when you encoded things in Real Media, you were looking to save space, not for quality.
Oh no. You wanted things to be pixelated.
I watched a lot of anime in Real Media Player in high school. So, anyway, that's weird. Anyway, that cat I saw. I think IGN had a preview of the new DLC and was like, sweet. I will go back to that game and play my superhero and whatnot. So, but there were other new games announced. What was announced at the Nintendo Direct? See, I wasn't here last week, so I wasn't here to talk about. What was at the Nintendo Direct last week?
Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS.
Yes.
There was a bunch of 3DS stuff. They announced the 3DS game coming out next year.
The second or Inside Story.
Yeah, a remake on 3DS. Like, we can't get around to that for a year or so.
That seemed odd. Yeah.
I feel like they're also spacing it out because they just released Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, was it?
Oh,
they
right.
released one the end of last year for the 3DS, which was a remake of the first game, which is weird because this would be the second game, or no, this is the third game. Anyway, not important. Mario and Luigi games are a lot of fun. So,
yeah, good writing too.
Oh yeah, man, Akami, that sushi game that seemed really weird. Captain Toad getting re-released.
3DS and Switch.
Yeah. Crash coming to the Switch. So, trying to make ARMS still a thing.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. That game's fun, but like
No.
time to throw in the towel. Also, like, I know everyone's already talked about this last week, but like, I'm still not sure what that Smash Brothers is. Like, if it's a port or if it's a new game.
I can't imagine the fact that like no one played the Wii U one. I mean, relatively speaking, why they would not take that and just add some characters to it. Like, why would they make a whole new game?
They have to, if they do that, they have to do some serious balance tweaks because like Bayonetta and some of the late DLC characters are super broken. So, Cloud, I want to say. So.
You could just remove them if that's the problem.
Oh, you're not going to remove content from the Switch version that's in the Wii U version.
Hey,
That's
I don't
not
care
gonna
what
end
they
well.
do because I'm not buying it regardless of what version of that.
No,
game it
I
is.
say, Mike, you're gonna buy it. I bought the 3DS version and the Wii U version. I think I played both of them a total of twice. Money spent.
Mm-hmm.
I use the Wii U version a lot for conventions, but that 3DS version I played a couple times, and then the Wii U version came out, and I never played the 3DS version.
Nor did I. I
So,
forgot
anyway.
I had it. Yeah,
So we should move on.
we should. Let's talk about some games we played, saw, want to play, all the above. Lauren, we'll start with you.
Well, I was sort of foolish and didn't bring my consoles with me.
Gasp.
Yeah, but I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider finally. Before I left in anticipation of the movie coming out, which I haven't seen yet, but I was trying to... I recognized some of the characters and plot, and I thought, well, maybe I should get through this, and maybe I'll know what's going on. Because when I bought that game and I bought Fallout at the exact same time, and never played Tomb Raider, and was just stuck on Fallout for about a good year and a half.
Wow. Money spent.
Money spent and money well spent, and game played like 3 times. And I saw my husband start. He was like, at some point we got to crack the plastic on this. And I was like, yeah, I know, leave me alone.
Don't judge
So then
me.
I watched. Exactly. Loud, sir. Why are you so loud? So I watched him play, and then I was like, okay, so I'll start. And then 2 days before I left, no, maybe not 2 days, maybe a week before I left, we bought the remastered BioShock collection, and I didn't have a chance to play through it all. So that's what's waiting for me when I go back and visit, and then I'm going to pack that sucker up in my suitcase and bring it with me.
Cool.
So yeah,
The shock of bio.
that's right.
Well, I can see that your priorities are, I guess, on other things. That's just.
Yeah.
I guess that's okay.
I miss it though. I really do. Because there's something about, at the end of a long day, you sit down and
Yeah.
raid some tombs and kill some deathclaws. It just makes everything okay.
Are you still going to go see the movie? I've not heard anything really good about it.
I am, because I'm sort of vested in. I have this thing about video game adaptations, and I literally keep a spreadsheet on the good, the bad, the ugly, down to producers, studios, and screenwriters. So it's in my spreadsheet. I want to go see it. I want to take notes because I think I have the formula to making them work. The trick is you don't make them into movies. You make them into miniseries, limited events. 6 to 8 episodes as opposed to 2 hours.
Or 13 episodes.
I hate 13. Say it in 8 or get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Brits do. The Brits will tell a story in 8 episodes or less, and it's riveting and it's good. It forces you to be a better writer.
Get rid of that filler, that's for sure. The episode where,
Yep.
they lose their keys. Do we have to
Right.
film this? Okay.
Right. So yeah, I'll go see it. I'm waiting for him to see it, and we'll go, and it'll be. I'm not sure what I'm expecting, but I'll be entertained. I think I know that much, but I won't expect anything more from that.
I don't really remember the other ones.
The second one was a bit of a dud. I do remember. I think they had Gerard Butler in it.
Oh,
The Cradle of Life or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the first one was the first one, and it was what it was. We're gonna leave it back where it was. But I mean, I don't know. Vikander wouldn't have been my first pick to play Lara Croft.
She's like an Oscar award-winning actress, isn't she?
She is, yeah. I mean, not that. I mean, so was Jolie, but there's just something about the
True.
look and the feel of this new reborn Lara Croft that I just didn't see in Vikander. I even thought, we could be radical and maybe make her give her some melanin, and maybe have Gugu and Mbatha-Raw do it. Somebody with a little more gravitas, a little more oomph.
I could
I
see
didn't
that,
get
actually.
from her. Yeah.
I wasn't wild about what she did in A Wrinkle in Time, but yeah, I could see her as Do something a little more action oriented for a change. That would be interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go see it.
Well, let me know how it is. I'll be here. Well, with Movie Pass, anything's possible.
Ah, that is true. Yep.
So. All right. Anything else from you?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Tiny, what does Vermintide mean?
So, the first
You see, you don't even know, do you? See,
well, no, it's
what happened was.
So in the Warhammer lore, so Warhammer, not 40K, so fantasy, elves, dwarves, orcs kind of stuff, had the Games Workshop, the people that own Warhammer, decided the end times, and part of that was going to be the Vermintide, which is, a bunch of these rat Skaven, essentially just hordes of them attacking. So Vermintide 1 and 2 are Left 4 Dead games, kind of, but in fantasy setting. So instead of having, hey, like, everyone come get the pills, it's like, come pick up this potion. And you have characters that are either a mage or a dwarf or an elf archer or like a cleric. So Vermintide 2 came out last Friday, I want to say. And it's a lot of fun. Like, it's the same idea. Like, hey, there's an AI director sending these hordes of these Skaven rat people at you, and then there's also special, essentially special infected, but also in this one there's chaos, people that have been corrupted by chaos in the thing, and you have to essentially work your way through the level as you're getting attacked by this horde, and it's better to have a balanced party of everyone having the different classes. So it's a fun game for $30 on PC. I think it's a beautiful game, and if you can get the right character, if you can get the right mix of people, you can have a lot of fun. But I also enjoyed Left 4 Dead a whole lot, so that's that game. The embargo's up on this, so I can say I started playing Yakuza 6 because I got sent a copy. It still doesn't come out for like another month. And this is my second Yakuza game, which is weird because the first one was the one on PS2. The first one with not Ironsides, Michael Manson, right?
Madsen?
Madsen.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you remember the first Yakuza game before they remade it, like the first one, they're like, hey, we're going to get all this star-studded talent, they're going to do all the voiceover, and then that game sold like garbage on the PS2. So anytime
they've made many more of them since.
Well, but it sold well in over in Japan and whatnot, but terrible over here. So like every game that did come over here after that was only subtitled. Until lately on the PS4, the games have been getting remade. So Kiwami, that's the latest one, which is a remake of the first game. And then they're coming out with a remake of the second game. So anyway, this one's real interesting because at some point you're going to be a man who was a crime boss fighting people, but I believe you're also holding on to a baby. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Fast and Furious?
Kinda. Like, there's it's everything takes place inside. Like, this is for all Yakuza, so I don't think I'm talking out of turn. But like everything takes place in a very small section of Tokyo, and but very densely populated. Like, they put so much detail in it, but it's only like 7 streets, or like it's a couple blocks essentially. But like, you're fighting people during this. Like, at points, I'm running into street toughs and whatnot, and I'm just picking up bikes that are alongside and just beating them with the bikes. It's been a fun game so far, but like, I'm trying to still catch up because I played the first one, and there's been 5 since that I have not played. So it did have a cool like overview at the beginning to give me an idea of what the heck was going on. So yeah, And then I went back to playing Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions on the PS3 because, I don't know, the mood struck me. So, that game is pretty cool. Aaron, I think you played it.
I played it on the 360. I really enjoyed that game.
Back in the day, yeah.
I like the, I think one of the standout ones was what, the Spider-Man Noir?
Yeah, the stealth Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was alright. You fought Hammerhead?
I was streaming this and I had people in the chat. You play through 4 different Spider-Men. You play through Amazing, Ultimate, Noir, and 2099. And yeah, in the first Noir missions that you're playing, you go against Hammerhead, who at the end gets, like, because of the magic MacGuffin in the story, lets him have super guns that also meld with his arms, and he's not freaked out that he no longer has hands. So it's cool. Like, I don't think they've done much with Noir since. They have, I know, a couple of side stories, but it's been pretty cool. Other than that, I played some indie games real quick. And Aaron, I think you played this too. Ion Maiden.
Yeah, I did play that.
Yo, what if they made a build engine game, but in 2018? So the same engine that Duke Nukem was made on. But what if you had all the power of modern computing behind it? And that game's tough. Like, I feel like I died a lot in that game.
I feel like I got lost too. Like, I was kind of like, where am I supposed to go?
There's definitely a part to that. So it's only the first, the prequel chapter that's out right now.
So difficult, confusing, and prequel to something or another that's coming later.
This is early access. Like, this is 100% early access.
Sounds enticing.
I mean, the novelty is, hey, did you like Duke Nukem? Do you want to play a game by the same people who made Duke Nukem? Like the good Duke Nukem, which is a weird thing to say out loud.
But how many times have they tried that?
I mean, but like in the novelty of the build engine now, like the weirder thing is, do you remember that? Not Epic Mega Games, 3D Realms. That's it. Do you remember they came out with a game like maybe a year and a half ago called like Bombshell?
Yeah.
Like it was a third-person game. I think you're playing that character, but in this game. Okay. So it's like weird. They're trying to build like their cinematic universe. I don't know. Like
good luck to you.
Fun. I thought it was fun, and I'm going to continue playing it, and I look forward to talking to them at PAX. And then the last thing is, I think I'm the only one who played it, is Into the Breach.
I've heard a lot about it, but I've not played it.
The follow-up from the FTL people. It's a real good game. Like, that was another game I was streaming at one point, and I lost everyone, and I decided just to close the game at that point because this was BS, and I was, and I had done it all to myself. Reasonable. I had done it all to myself. So, but it was so I lost the pilot I had put like a good 10 hours into. So
can't you save one character or something?
You can if they don't die.
Oh, right.
If they die, you cannot take them back to the previous timeline. So I was very heartbroken. It was very sad. But yeah, and then I installed Sea of Thieves. I just haven't gotten a chance yet. But Mike, what about you?
So my gaming time has been kind of split between some subscription-based services. I finally signed up for EA Access, I guess sparked because I wanted to sharpen up a stick and poke Burnout Paradise while it was available to play at no additional cost other than the subscription, at least for the 10 hours anyway. And I didn't play a whole lot of Burnout Paradise when it came out. I really enjoyed Burnout 2, 3, and to a lesser extent Revenge, but when Paradise came around, it was like, all right, it's open world. Where's my crash mode? Which was the thing that I really liked the most. And, you know, it's like, you want to just push a couple of buttons, and start rolling down a mountainside road and crashing into stuff? Not so much, but Burnout Paradise, the remaster, it looks very nice. It runs very smoothly. I don't know that I'll go back to it, but there it is. It's available, on EA Access to do the 10-hour thing, or to purchase if you want to buy it for $40 or whatever your discounts allow you for. But because I had EA Access, I took a look at Black, which I've never actually played before, and that's a game. I kind of enjoyed it more than I thought I would after about 3 minutes, because I played through 2 full levels, and I did enjoy how you could just kind of blow up almost anything in the game. But the controls are terrible. The sensitivity of the analog stick for looking around and aiming is one of the worst I've ever seen in a console shooter. But once you kind of get used to it, once you get used to it, it's playable anyway. I feel like I'll go back to it because now I have 12 months of access to it, so sure, why not? But probably not soon. But with the impending release of Sea of Thieves, I also activated my free trial of Game Pass, and I did it a couple of days early just because I wanted to check out some of the other things that are available with Game Pass. And one of those things was Ninja Gaiden Black, which is the Xbox original game, available to play on Xbox One, of course. I had heard that it looks very nice on an X, and it absolutely does. At least the actual gameplay does. Of course, the cinematics and things are the same as they were from back in the day. I had never actually played the Black version of that game, but I really, really enjoyed the original Ninja Gaiden remake on Xbox. Played through it 3 times right when it came out. Unlocked pretty much everything at the time. Kind of forgot how terrible the camera is in that game, where when you need to actually change the camera, you have to look through the eyes of your character, and that it like cuts off your controls for a moment, and it's like the old days of before there was a separate analog stick, say N64 or Dreamcast games, where you had to like hold a button to be able to look and use the same stick as you would to move. So that's not great. I doubt I'll finish it, but it was neat to go back and look at it. And I also poked at Super Lucky's Tale, which also kind of suffers from this, but for no reason at all, because that game came out last year. Why you're required to hold the Y button to look around in first person in 2017, now 2018? Who thought of this? This is like the worst idea ever.
You get used to it though. Like I was a game I beat last year. I see they sent me a key for the DLC. I ran through that. Like it is frustrating, but I don't know. It's just like it's a relaxing game. It's frustrating as it is. I can just play, just jump around, collect crap. But yeah, it is interesting that you really don't have camera control at all. You just
it does feel like they wanted to make this an N64 game with modern day graphics.
Kind of, sort of.
I don't know. But I mean, having said that, it like what I played of it, which was basically about A level, it seemed fine. It felt like a game I could play if I felt motivated to. There was nothing about it that grabbed me. It felt very old school, very much like maybe a child would enjoy this more than me. But it's just I'm not going to put a whole lot of time into it. But again, with Game Pass, I had access to Sea of Thieves. Of course, now I own it outright, which is the better way to go because I don't have to worry about a subscription. But thank you, Aaron, for the assistance with that. Yeah, I've been playing a bit of Sea of Thieves. Cool. It's got some server issues. This is day one. I did foolishly attempt the let me pretend I live in New Zealand for a few hours to try to play it last night. Didn't really work out so well and caused some issues that I needed. It basically caused me to need to delete the game and re-download it, which isn't as big a deal now that I have a little bit higher bandwidth cap. But Don't do that. For anybody who ever thinks about doing anything like that, it's not worth it. Just forget it. But yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying some of the stuff that was not in the betas, like hunting down the skeletons and bringing their glowing heads back to the whatever. Like there's just little touches here and there. Like one of the skulls that we got, not only like the eyes glow, but the thing actually has like a glowing green flame that like anybody can see coming. And when we pulled into port to try to sell the thing, some people were lying in wait and shot the guy who was carrying it, grabbed the skull, was running toward the thing, and sold it before we could get it in, and we lost all the money. So yeah, it can be an intense game from time to time, but it's fun. I'm looking forward to putting more time into it. But that is what I have been playing. So, Aaron, what have you been playing?
I've been playing some Bomb Slinger on the Switch. It's like a Bomberman. I mean, it's sort of that isometric view, and you walk around. The storyline is, I guess, you were working. It's sort of an old west kind of thing, and you're working with some gang or whatever, and I guess you owe them money or something. They murder your wife, so sort of you're out for revenge. So
wait. They murder your wife, and because of that, you owe them money?
No, I think because you owe them money or something, they murdered your wife. And
this is awful. This is awful.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is it a copy of something else or
No, I'm just saying that's an awful thing.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Not only is there a debt, but they wronged you and your family horribly, and now you're like working for them?
Well, no, you're trying to kill them.
Oh, you're trying to kill them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all right. We went up one rung on the ladder. Okay.
No. You're going through like a set of, I don't know. I'm in the first level. I died on the boss, unfortunately. I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 different single screens, clearing out enemies, getting different power ups and things. And it does feel like a Bomberman kind of thing, where you can blow up a treasure chest and get more powerful bombs, ability to drop more bombs. You have like a spirit kind of meter. I got this lightning bolt thing, which allowed me to just hit enemies with lightning on all of the screen. I was like, all right, that's cool. Oh, that's kind of fun. I was having an issue with it today where it kept making the left analog drift. I don't know what that's about, because I had played Bayonetta a ton before that. It was fine. I didn't have any issues. I started this game, and then the analog stick kept drifting to the left analog drifting to the right for whatever reason. So I don't know. Well, it seems fun. I put some time into Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut. This is a game, a little like cube-based characters. You're sort of like remaking horror movies. So it has all these different scenarios where you want to take the killer and have them like kill all the people in a certain sequence, or like without knocking certain things that will block down that will like block the exit that you need to leave. It's fun. It's a puzzle game. It's goofy. Like it asks you up front, like, hey, do you want like the kid settings or like the the gory settings? But it's all everything is like a cube or whatever. But you're still cutting off heads, and it's like a slasher movie. And I don't know, like if you die and don't hit the button, the credits will roll. It's weird. I don't know. It's like, remember the scene from Jason Takes Manhattan where the brother was fighting him on the rooftop and he punched his head off?
No.
A classic cinematic moment.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. So yeah, they have stuff like that, or just it sort of like duplicates things that you've seen in slasher movies, but it is a puzzle game essentially. It's more of a sequence thing. So like, I mean, you could basically take that game and instead of killing people, you're collecting teddy bears. It may be as interesting, I guess, but I don't know. It seems pretty fun. I don't remember asking for this, but this copy of a game called Beast Quest ended up in my inbox. There's a book series, I guess, fantasy, and I loaded up. Man, it's rough. Like it is. It looks like a like a late PS2 game, sort of. It's not a looker, and I don't know. I'm playing it. It has some shortcomings, but I'm overlooking them. Once I got to a town, and like there's no voiceovers, like everybody has like a dead face. I was like, oh man, I don't know. So I don't know how much more Beast Quest I'm gonna be playing, but the combat isn't too bad. It's not like, I want to say Punch Out, but it's not really Punch Out. But it's that, you can kind of rotate around the enemies. It's kind of clunky, but you can kind of rotate around them, hit them, use more powerful strikes, things like that. There's some appeal to it. I guess if you were familiar with the book series, it might really be more appealing. But when I got to the town and everybody, it's almost like, yes, there's people in the town, but I would ask them something. They either would not want to talk to me or have nothing to say. And it's like, well, why even have them there? Just take me to my next objective. Like, why even have me in this town to begin with? So, Mike, you and I played some Deep Rock Galactic. Was that Friday night?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's in early access. It's sort of a 4-player. It kind of blends. What was like a horde mode kind of gameplay with Minecraft-ish. I don't know.
It's the destructive part, not the building part.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely not the building part.
I mean, at least what we played, what I can wrap my head around was almost like a base defense sort of a thing.
That's a better way of putting it. Yeah, base defense, because you kind of stand in one little area. At least what we played. It's class based too. Like I picked the engineer, so I had like a shotgun, but then I also had this gun that made platforms. So for harder to reach areas, because for the guy, it's funny. Mike and I were playing. There was a guy who we weren't talking to him, but he was very helpful. Like he would always come in over, and you can help revive your teammates by pouring this purple liquid. We called it Dimetap all over their faces, and that somehow magically brings them back to life. And it also tastes like grape as well. So there you go. But I mean, he was good about reviving us and actually completing the objectives. Like you're supposed to be mining. I don't really know how to mine. I mean, I picked up a couple of minerals and threw them in this thing in the center where to ground them up, and then. But it's early access, so it's an alpha essentially, because you just finished fighting like 50 enemies, and then the voice comes on and says, "All right, the swarm's coming." We just killed them. What are you talking about? What was that? So I don't know. It's not really my type of game, but there was some appeal to it. That's I had fun. I don't know. Mike, did you have fun?
I could see there's some potential, but as you mentioned with the guy like reviving us and everything, there was more than once where I kind of was like, I sort of hope he doesn't, because I'm kind of done.
Yeah, we tried to quit a couple of times, but like the time when I died, like because you can kind of just tunnel into the ground with a pickaxe pretty far. I had tunneled into the ground and was like one set of like earth from reaching the surface again, but some of the bugs crawled in the tunnel after me, killed me, so I could see my body, the outline of my body, through the ground. So then I think it was the other guy. I kept telling you I'm under the ground. Can you get me? The other guy dug one small hole, saw me, poured the diamond tap on my face, and then but the problem was when he opened the hole up, the bugs that he was fighting followed him, and then just killed me again. But so it happens. Yeah, I'm not good at video games. Tiny talks about Ion Maiden already, so I don't need to repeat that. I played a game called Siege Saga, which is sort of the opposite of Angry Birds, where you have to just build a structure to protect a king. So the enemy, the AI, is essentially slingshotting missiles and rocks and crap at you, but you have to build a structure to protect the king. And sometimes, the king has a servant. I think the servant can die, but the king can't die. I don't know. I found it kind of fun. I went through about 20 stages of it. I don't know. It seemed kind of cool. I don't know if it's out for mobile. I think it's only on PC right now. But it seemed fun. I don't know. It's kind of weird because they give you, you have a finite amount of resources, so you have to like build a metal like wall sort of around you, but have it like hook under a cliff. It's just weird, sometimes it's like, well, how do I attach this? Sometimes the weirdest power is trying to understand like how you would fit it all in, but it works. The king died a bunch of times, but then he also lived a bunch of times too, so look at me. Played some Neon Wall on the Switch. That's a weird game. It's like you're looking at like a track from the side, and you're either using the analogs. I haven't tried it with the actual Joy-Con as like pointing, using the motion controls. And there's like a small ball, and if the ball is the same color of the track it's on, it'll move faster. So the object is you want to get the ball to the end of the goal as fast as possible. But as the game goes on, you have to break certain blocks, hit certain switches in order for the ball or little thing to keep going. The problem is I didn't really get into a rhythm with it where I was hitting the right buttons at the right time to sort of switch up so everything would kind of just go smoothly. And then it gets to the point where like it starts hurting your brain because you have to constantly look at the color that the ball is, the color of, the floor you're on, and then visually you can see the icon showing you what color you'll shoot out into at the screen. You have to just pay attention to like 4 different things like at any given second to like keep going. So it's yeah, don't play that when you're tired because it just hurt your head. So let's see. Played a bunch of I played a little bit of Octahedron right before we started. It's a platformer. I think it just came out on PS4 and Xbox One today and Steam. It gives you like the seizure warning with good reason because there's a lot going on the screen. Your character can kind of create 2 platforms and like so sometimes they can like run and they'll follow them. Basically, it's a platform you want to manipulate yourself and get up to the level or whatever and get to the end. I'm not prone to seizures, so I'm good. If you are, I would stay away from that game because it might do you in. Yeah. And I'll be honest here and admit that I did play a round of PUBG Mobile since you've been doing the show. I'm sorry. It just happened. I was curious. I'm not the biggest.
You got a chicken dinner, I assume. Then.
No, I did not. But I got like 4 kills, which is good for me. Since I was like the 4th time I ever played PUBG, first time I ever played it on the mobile. And I was talking with a friend of the show, Ben. We all were talking. Well, he had said that he liked it. It wasn't, and as someone who plays a lot of PUBG, he was impressed that it ran as well as it did. I'm equally impressed. Like, yes, you're using the touchscreen controls and all, but it wasn't bad. But, I guess what I'm saying is he's someone who plays a lot of PUBG. I played very little. We both enjoyed it. That says something, doesn't it? It doesn't? Okay, that's fine too. But yeah, I had no idea that. I know they were that close to a mobile game coming out. I know they're trying to do the catch up with Fortnite and all, but I had no idea that the mobile game was that far along.
And they just license it out to somebody else, right?
Well, Tencent owns a portion of the PUBG Corporation.
Okay.
So they were already making the mobile port for other regions. So my understanding is this was then adapted to the North American market.
Oh, they hit the export to USA button.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the old port to Vita button that they used to use back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You should, if you enjoyed that, I'd say give Fortnite a shot.
I will. I guess I'm just surprised that these things really work on a mobile platform.
I didn't mention it, but
I didn't know we were doing that now. It's like, we'll make a mobile version. It'll be legit. It will? Okay. Cool.
Well, like the cool thing for Fortnite is it's all cross-platform. Like you can play with other people on other platforms. So if your friend's playing on the Xbox or whatever, you can hop in the game with the mobile and not be bad. Like it's not like it's day and date with the content. So
like I got 4 kills and 3 of those 4 they spotted me first, so they must have really been bad.
Yeah,
I killed them.
So I don't want to take away from your glory, but I've been hearing a lot of like the PUBG villain or the opponents people run into in PUBG are actually bots right now.
That would explain a lot. Thank you for crushing all of my pride and self-esteem.
Read something about like there was some issue, but like that
Appreciate
makes me
that,
wonder
thank you.
too. So like, are these bots being run by like, because they're not running on the CPU of the machine, so they have to be running on some cloud platform. So you're still using data anyway. I was wondering about that.
Let's see, and the last thing is, I finally did beat that one enemy in Crimson Fang. I finally beat her in Knockout League and advanced to the pirate guy with the parrot who has a sword and a hook who tries to kill you. So that game is so much fun, and it gives you a workout too. Yes, I am also out of shape, so that's probably another reason. But I'll play that game and my whole body feels it because I'm moving around like I'm in a boxing match. Well, like a fake boxing match, but still.
So you're more prepared to go bowling than I was.
Well, clearly. Now this is a little more involved. I mean, because like just the amount of swaying and dodging and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, my back was like, don't do this tomorrow. So, yeah.
So is the pirate guy the boss?
No, he's just the fifth enemy you face.
Adam, any clue?
I think there's at least 9 different.
Oh, so you're
boxes.
like halfway through then.
Yeah. And you have to just watch the parrot. The parrot will basically, like, he's an idiot, so the parrot tells him what to do. So if you watch the parrot, you'll know what punches he does. But they're all not. Some of them you think you should be able to dodge, but you just don't. Or at least I didn't. So, I don't know. That's a really good game. It is really fun. So, I would like Punch Out. So, I'm just a sucker for that kind of thing. So, all right, I'm rambling now. So, that's stuff that I play. Yeah. So, Toys R Us. You all know about Toys R Us, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. We're still in Canada though, but you moved from Canada, so.
I mean, I stopped paying attention to Toys R Us, I'll be honest, when I aged out of the Super Toy Run that Nickelodeon used to do.
I used to want to be that kid so bad.
I entered like 5 times a year and was just always so very angry when I didn't win it.
Oh. Yeah.
Like Toys R Us? I don't know her. I'm sorry. It's terrible, though, that these people are going to lose their jobs. I jest. However, that is quite serious.
Yeah, it's what, 33,000 people or something like that? That's a lot. That's not that, yeah. So what was it that was it Bain Capital bought them, but then apparently saddled them with, they didn't restructure their debt in a way that would have made it, I don't know, feasible to keep it open? Is that? Right.
Because every company operates with a little bit of debt. It's in how you manage it that keeps you afloat. But they basically just let it crash and burn.
And I thought they actually shifted some of Bain Capital's other debt
onto them.
Over? Yeah.
So they saved other companies to murder Toys R Us faster.
And then blamed it on millennials.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
because
not having kids.
Yeah, they're not having kids, or they're not going. Although, well, yeah, whatever. I don't know. It's nuts. Yeah, that's.
I mean, I don't know. You ever want to have the creepiest feeling? Be a 30-year-old guy walking into a Toys R Us. Sans kids. So.
I walked into a Toys R Us. I was over 30.
Do you have?
It's not bad until you start asking questions about dolls or hanging around in the pink section for too long.
I mean, I walked in to get a gift for someone. I don't know, one of my nephews or whatever.
You just have to make it seem like you don't know anything and you're only here for this list that was handed to me. Then you're in the clear.
Okay. This is a real embarrassing story. I did exactly that the release day of Disney Infinity.
Yeah, you're on a list somewhere.
I was like, I don't know. I just got sent. Wait, I don't see Buzz Lightyear in here. You sure this is everything?
I was told
10 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday morning.
I left my nephew in the car. I left my niece in the car. Like,
I mean, The other thing is, I don't think anyone here plays Pokemon, but they used to do like they'd give away limited Pokemon. No, the Toys R Us here in Delaware, the one in northern Delaware, their video game section is on an outer wall, so you can just drive your car up to the outside, stop, do the thing on the 3DS or whatever you need to do, and leave, not have to store.
Oh. I thought you were saying literally their video game section was on a wall on the outside.
No, like it's
like people keep stealing everything. We didn't think.
How would that ever work?
Yeah, no. It's shared. It was sandwiched. It was up against an exterior.
It's like
wall.
the old days with the little flip tabs. They just put those on the outer wall of that particular Toys R Us.
You just yell through the wall, "Do you have Double Dragon?"
Hello, there's no papers left for Double Dragon. Do you actually have any or no? Can I pay you anyway?
So yeah, goodbye Toys R Us. I won't be able to have any of these weird social interactions. I feel bad for the people losing their jobs, especially after the BS going on with the severance and whatnot. But
nothing. I'm glad that I had a chance to visit that quite ostentatious Toys R Us that used to be in Times Square.
Times Square's Toys R Us?
That thing was insane. It was like, I walked in there with my wife, we were just like, you could just spend a day. They had ice cream in there, like a freaking amusement park. I was like, this is crazy. The amount of money they had to spend to lease that place must have been crazy too. Clearly it wasn't worth it. Oh. Yeah, that's a shame. Apparently, KB Toys is talking about renting out some of the spots, I guess around like Black Friday or something like that. I don't know.
Wait, KB still around?
KB's somehow coming back.
Yeah.
Or, what's that store that I used to go to? Toy Castle? I don't know if you guys... That was a Virginia thing. It was an actual, like, built like a castle, and it was, like, super awesome.
Did they have little slips of the video games, too?
Oh my god, I don't remember, but I do remember that being that was a Toys R Us thing. See, when you said outer wall, I thought it was like a Black Panther situation where somebody could do a heist and just like blow out the outer wall and take all the games they wanted.
That would actually have more happened than Mike thinking that it was like a patio that they set all their video games out on. Oh man, Toys, yeah. Anyway, Toys R Us.
I don't know if bringing back. I mean, it probably wouldn't at this point, but I always wondered if I don't know if they still did the Super Toy run, or did they ever think about bringing it back and maybe donating some toys? But it just seems like greedy capitalists took it out like they do most other things. So
I can't imagine how expensive that would be now, because like no kid, if you were doing the no kid that really put some thought into this would not leave that electronics aisle.
Nope.
Oh, that'd be the first spot.
Oh God, it's like, yo, you have more tablets in back? I want all of them.
Here's a list. Go fetch me these iPads.
Right, and if it was excluded, the kids would just look at the like plastic figures and say, "What is this? You cheap jerks! Get me something real."
What am I supposed to do with this doll? It doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't play Minecraft on this. So
it's broken.
Candyland.
Says get this action figure. There's no action involved. This is trash.
Where's the code to redeem it virtually?
Yeah. How does this interact with my phone? It does. This is a ripoff, even at free.
I just want to say that we're all very old.
Old, and
or seasoned,
mature.
Yeah, I remember being 10 years old and needing like $5 more to get a Game Boy, and I was in the backyard like raking leaves in the rain. My father was like, "Okay, we'll give you the $5. Let's just go." I was like, "Yes."
He's like, "Listen, son, you're actually ruining the yard, so please stop.
You're raking your mother's plants." I'm like, I meant well though. You know what I'm saying?
You told me to rake up the leaves.
These are leaves, man.
These leaves are still growing on the tree. Leave them alone.
I was just trying to get rid of the middleman. Like, time to take it out.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
I want to say when the demo for Wind Waker came out, it was a Toys R Us exclusive originally.
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
So, because I can remember in college, like a bunch of us piling into a car and going to a Toys R Us in New York, PA, and that was not something we regularly did. So, I want to say it was for maybe they were giving out the demo. I forget, but I remember playing that stupid bug thing where you're like, you use the hook shot and you're trying to drag it into the volcano.
So, I will say that pricing error they had. What is it like around?
Which one?
One of the last ones, October or November, where I know Ben got a bike for his son for like 40% off. I got a copy. I think I got an NBA 2K18 for the Switch for like 40% off.
It's still too much.
Hey.
I heard that game sucks.
No. The WWE game is unplayable.
I also heard that game sucks more, but both are in the suckage.
For having not played one of those games in a very long time, I have nothing to really compare it to. It's more fun than NBA Playground.
That's not tough.
I know. That's the
Also,
Iron Fists of like arcade basketball games.
A top-selling release on the Nintendo Switch.
It looks like NBA Jam. Oh, but it's not.
Like, weirdly. Anyway, yeah.
The great taste of Worcestershire sauce in a soft drink. It's bad. Man.
Anyway, we should finish this.
Yeah, we probably should wrap this up. Yeah. All right, Lauren, this is the conclusion of this show. So if you want to give out, if you have any plugs, shout outs, all your stuff will be in the show notes. But if you want to plug your various podcasts and sites,
okay,
please feel free to do so.
Well, feel free to check out myself and my co-hosts Shannon, Cameron, and Mel, Nerds of Prey. We are at Nerds of Preycast on Twitter. We are at nerdsofpreypodcast.com, and we also have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/nerdsofprey. As little as $1 a month can help, keep our domain fees down. We create special content for you, special shout-outs. You donate high enough and we can make you a producer and you get lots of extra perks in, so you can check out the site for that. And thank you to our current patrons and possible future patrons. And I do this on our show. Every week I just give a shout out to the Queen Mother Angela Bassett and to William Jackson Harper, who plays Chidi on The Good Place.
Okay. All right, like I said, everything will be in the show notes, so you make sure that people can get all the information there. Who is next?
I'll go.
Tiny, say some words.
So I said we should move on, but then I want to say you have like 4 days to add points to your Wii channel or to your Wii until they'll stop letting you put money on there to buy stuff on Wii downloads. So like the 25th is the cutoff.
I thought it was the 27th.
It's the 25th. I'm on their website right now.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I had the right date because I thought it was the 26th, but it is apparently the 25th. So there are some good games on the Wii Virtual Console that and WiiWare that, like, if you want to own them and not be a hacked way, you have like 4 days.
A whole 4 days.
Assuming this comes out on the 21st. So.
And assuming you want any of that stuff.
I don't know. There's Rebirth stuff.
Depends on the snow.
Sure. I'm glad I own it. I don't know that I'd be really excited about buying it at this stage for play on the Wii/Wii U, depending on what you own.
Well, I think Konami, said they were going to re-release some of that stuff,
which would be very nice.
I'll hold my breath. So
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, hey, aside from that, if you haven't signed up yet, you should go to extra-life.org and sign up to raise money for your local Children's Miracle Network hospital. There's 170 of them across Canada and the U.S. you can raise for. And hey, we want to beat that $11 million mark that they did in 2017. So time to get to work. So 100% of what people donate goes directly to the Children's Hospital, your choice. So, and if you want to join the team, come join the GameEnthus team. So we have like 4 people on right now, and I think we've raised like $800 and $900 so far this year. So So yeah, so do that. Mike, what about you, bro?
I do, as always, encourage those who are eligible to donate blood. And if you have pets, to have them, don't do it yourself, have them spayed or neutered by a professional. Aaron.
All right, well, Lauren, thank you. Thank you once again for joining us on the show. Appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having me. Thanks, guys.
It's been fun. What else? Listeners, people who join in on the chat. Keon, Tyrone, Mike J. Appreciate your comments and participation. Mike, Tony, you two gentlemen, thank you for your time. I don't pay you to be here, but yet you show up. I appreciate that. Thank you.
We're doing a show Thursday, right?
This Thursday?
Yes.
2 days?
No. Pretend it's Thursday now. Okay.
Because I was going to tell you I can't be here. I'm at the Pacific Rim opening, so sorry. But
darn. If you want to leave us feedback, you can always do so at podcast@GameEnthus.com. Leave us a voicemail like Keon did. Thank you, Keon. At 202-573-7686. And yeah, I think that's about it. I should probably say something else, but I don't know what else to say. Laura, any final words?
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I was watching The Truman Show, and that was always a sign-off.
This is a good one, though, too. So
I love that film. I think it's an underrated film.
It was quite good. Was that the first, serious role he did?
I want to say, yeah, it was before he did Man on the Moon. Yeah.
I enjoy Man on the Moon. Maybe I like the song better than the actual movie.
If you like that, check out a documentary that it was on Netflix about that time that he spent doing on that film, and he got just so deep into playing Andy Kaufman, they couldn't tell where Andy Kaufman stopped and where Jim Carrey started.
That sounds like something he would do.
Yep. The director was just vexed. Poor guy. He was like, "Who am I talking to?" Yeah.
Jim. All right, Dora Lauren says, we're out of here.
Peace.
Didn't that Superman prequel show premiere tonight?